than having to play against him.
The two teams then led out by Andy Butler and Ian Henderson. Rovers in their usual red and white hoop shirts, white shorts and white socks. Rochdale, blue and black stripes, blue shorts and blue socks. There will be a minute's applause ahead of the game this afternoon as we remember those who lost their lives in 2018. The Rochdale then line up with Norman in goal, a back four of Morley, McGahey, Delaney and Clay, three-man midfield, Rathbone, Williams and Adshed, with Camps, Henderson and Doan as the front three. On the bench, Lillis, McNulty, Andrew, Jordan Williams, Braden Inman, Gillam and Matheson. Of course, Keith Hill, the former Barnsley manager, is in charge. The referee, just a bit of sprinklers on the pitch. He's had to move out of the way. The usual pre-match handshakes are going to be moved about here.
Yeah, I think they
didn't want to get wet, did they?
Weren't too happy about getting wet before they started. But interesting, with Butler and Henderson leading the teams out today. Whoever comes out, Henderson obviously the top scorer for Rochdale. I think he's got 14 goals this season. Whoever comes out on top in that battle between Butler and Henderson could dictate the course of the game today, because he's a dangerous striker. Yeah. He did miss an absolute sitter, didn't he? If you remember, at Scotland, when we won there 3-2 earlier in the season.
I think me and you would have probably scored from that.
And that is saying something. But yeah, he's a top striker in this league, and I think if Butler and Anderson can keep tabs on him today, then Rovers should come out of the game okay.
Yeah, reminder then ahead of the minute's applause, Rovers make one change from that win at Gillingham on Saturday. In comes Crawford, out goes Tommy Rowe. So in full, it's Lawler in goal, a back four of Blair, Anderson, Butler the captain, and Danny Andrew, Whiteman, Crawford and Kane in midfield, Wilkes, Marquis and May in attack. On the bench, Morosi, Rowe, Taylor, Amos, Coppinger, London, Bucock. And as we mentioned earlier, Pete, Rovers doing the business very, very early in this window. Kane and Wilkes extended already. Sadly assigned, Smith signed, and that's what you want, isn't it? You don't want to be waiting. As Grant McCann said, if the Wilkes deal wasn't done, he was going to move on to other targets.
I think that's great. One thing that it's a very impressive quality that Grant McCann has, doing his business early, and I don't think there'll be much more to follow. Maybe one.
I don't think they need
the
much,
most.
As Andy Butler just the pre-match coin toss, the players are both ready either side of the centre circle. We'll let the referee dictate things from here on in.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark upon a new year, it is now time to reflect on those nearest and dearest to us connected with Doncaster Rovers who have sadly passed away in the year of 2018. We would like everybody to join in unison in a minute's applause on the sound of the referee's whistle.
Applause observed by all four corners of the ground. Rovers are going to be switched around here in the first half. We saw it against Oxford a couple of weeks ago. It always seems to be a little bit of a curse as well, doesn't it? Doesn't quite seem right, Rovers attacking the home end in the first half. You have it at a lot of grounds, don't you? You're looking at like the Premier League teams, Liverpool, Manchester United. Whenever they switch around, it's just a bit odd. Same for, I'm sure, the Rovers fans who will have to observe from far Rovers attacking in the second half. The pre-match huddle now underway. The minute's applause or minute's silence, whenever you have anything like that, it just tends to stoke the atmosphere a little bit, doesn't it? You get that roar after the whistle's gone. Rovers are now ready to get this game underway, going from left to right as we look at it in this first half. Ali Crawford's going to be the man to kick us off. First game of 2019 then. What has this year got in state? It promises to be a really, really good year, doesn't it, Pete, for Rovers?
Well, yeah, it could be very interesting come May time. As to where Rovers do finish the season.
It is Herbie Kane who will now get us underway. Crawford's been nudged off it. Kane rolls the ball back to Whiteman, who pumps the ball forward towards the run of John Marquis, and Clay gets above Marquis, but it comes off the top of his head, and Rovers have got an early throw in here, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. Blair will take and go short to Wilkes, who just rolled away from Doan, the former Barnsley man. Throw into Rovers a bit further back this time as Grant McCann runs out of his technical area, wants to get this game rolling early on. Blair goes a bit longer that time. Marquis looks to pin McGahey at the edge of the area. He's got it with his back to goal now. Wilkes up against and Clay. Can he cut inside and cause problems? Malik Wilkes. Deep ball in towards the back stick. May's waiting. Header and goal! Inside the opening minute. What a start to 2019. Brilliant ball in by Wilkes. And May was in acres of space. Second goal in as many home league games for Alfie May. Composed header. The keeper had no chance, Pete.
Yeah, I think there was less than 40 seconds on the clock as well. What a start to 2019, as you say, Robbie. Great work, great ball by Malik Wilkes. He just cut inside from the right, and instead of having a bang, which he's prone to do with his left foot, he just killed the ball over to the far side, and then comes and he just heads it in the net. It was just a perfect start to the new year.
What a start, what a ball from Wilkes, and how Alfie May's got that much room in the penalty area is beyond me, but Rovers will take it. A goal up inside a minute. Exactly the start to 2019 that I'm sure Grant McCann will have been dreaming of. And Rovers make their mark on Rochdale early on here as McGahey brings the ball forward and rolls it back to Williams, who's sort of dropped in between the two centre-backs. It might be a three at the back here for Rochdale, I think, as McGahey's ball forward is out of play for a throw in a bit further upfield. Rochdale will get the ball.
Having said what a great start for Rovers, what a nightmare for Rochdale, especially after coming off a 4-0 defeat against Bradford City. Keith Hill must be grinding his teeth down there.
Here's Delaney, goes wide to and Clay. Wilkes is going to try and nip in here. Great strength from Wilkes just to brush him off, and then he goes on the outside, Malik Wilkes. And Clay's still there with him. Can he repeat the trick here? Shaped across first time, waits a little bit, then does get a ball. A great save!
What a save
from Norman. It was almost two with little over 2 minutes on the clock. Glancing header from Marquis. Norman got down brilliantly to deny the Rovers number 9. Again, a brilliant ball in by Wilkes, right in the danger zone. Flicked header by Marquis. It was oh so nearly 2.
It was a great header by Marquis, and it took an even better save by the keeper to stop it.
Crawford with a corner then towards the near post, flicked on Marquis there again. Butler just couldn't readjust his body to turn it in, but he's going to keep it in on this near side. Wilkes there with him. He's got a man on his back in Adshed. Can he get a shot at goal now, Wilkes? It's opened up for him. He does hit it, deflected into the air, and it'll be easy now for Norman to claim. But Rovers have come out of the traps brilliantly here. Almost 2-0 up. They do lead by a goal to nil as Herbie Kane just got caught underneath the flight of that one. Butler takes over and looks to head it back to Lawler, and it will float into the arms of the Irish keeper. But wow.
Yeah, at the moment Rochdale just don't know what's hit them, do they? Rovers have come out of the traps, as you say, and they've come out all guns blazing today, and they look as if they mean to score a bag full of goals.
Jesus, if that goes in 2-0 after 2.5 minutes, the Rochdale fans must be thinking, I wish I'd have stayed at home.
And all from Malik Wilkes on the right hand side of the pitch in attack, cutting inside and turning the provider.
I don't think the referee and his assistant on this near side had a clue what was going on there. The communication was lacking a little bit as Delaney inside his own penalty area uses Williams under pressure from May, and he clears it, but only as far as Kane now. Kane with Adshed at his back, takes it over from May now on the edge of the penalty area, looks to jink away from 2 Rochdale bodies and will get the ball back now. Chance to potentially get a cross in. Brilliant footwork from Kane, still going. He's got 3 in the box should he wish to use them. He's still trying to turn away from McGahey on that far side, and he's still got it. He's just teasing the defender here. Now he wants a free kick.
The corner.
And Rovers going to get a corner on that far side, but unbelievable, isn't it? I don't think he knows what he's going to do.
He just couldn't find the space to get the cross in. I mean, they doubled up on him, 2 defenders there, and made it very difficult. But great footwork by Kane on that far side.
Crawford over this corner then. Rovers with a fast start to 2019. A goal after 40 seconds or so. Alfie May on target, 11 in all competitions now for him. Marquis is on 16. Almost 30 goals between two of your front men. Add Wilkes to that. You can see why Rovers are battling up towards a playoff place. It's going to be Andrew to swing this one in deep towards Anderson at the back stick. Wins the header. It's towards his centre-back partner Butler, and it's still in the area now. May tries to flick one towards goal, but it's easy for Norman. And he can bring the ball forward on the counter-attack. Whiteman's covering. Henderson looking to put him under pressure. Whiteman just sweeps it out left now to Andrew. Keeps it in just about. Whiteman then collects and finds Crawford down that left-hand side, just inside the Rochdale half. Switches the play right towards Kane, who's got to backtrack a little bit. Heads it down towards Blair, who will just nod it back into his path. And then so smart from Kane just to move inside and look to float one up towards Marquis, who flicks it inside to May. Onside in the penalty area. Can he twist towards goal? Finds Marquis, caught under his feet slightly, but he still maintains possession. Kane now 25 yards out, tries to jink away from two Rochdale men, and they win the ball back through Adshed now. But Rovers again quick to reverse the play. Andrew in that left-hand channel now. May up against McGahey. Rovers are just too quick for Rochdale. Flick from Crawford towards May. It just didn't quite come off, but a great bit of interplay there from the two Rovers men, as now Rathbone can bring it forward. Henderson out on the left-hand side. Goes inside to Camps now. Wilkes doing some defensive duties. Can he get a cross in, Camps? It's in towards Rathbone, but it comes off his boots and out for a goal kick. A relatively routine Rovers defending there. They didn't have to do too much, but Rochdale came forward quite quickly.
Yeah, it's been champagne football from Rovers so far, hasn't it, the first 6 or 7 minutes. But what we've got to remember is they're only one goal up, and this game could change rapidly if they don't keep a grip on it.
Yeah, it was a topsy-turvy game at Spotland earlier on this season, wasn't it? 3-2, Rovers 2-0 up. Back to 2-1, then 3-1 up, then it finished 3-2, and we had a bit of defending to do towards the end of that game. Strange game. Here's Andrew now on the left-hand side, lifts the ball in. It's over the top of everybody, and then Clay will just let it drift out for a goal kick. But not as good as it might have been there from Danny Andrew, but how impressed have you been with his performances over the past few weeks especially?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a dangerous cross. It just needed somebody to get on the end of it. He's a really good player, is Danny Andrews. I've got a lot of time for him. We really missed him last season when he was out. It was such a shame that he started off, but he came back into the side this season, started off really well. I think he had a little dip in form, and now he's come back and he's back on top form again.
Ball forward now to May, down that left-hand side. Picks Kane out. Crawford's making a run in beyond, but Kane couldn't quite get the pass away to him. Instead he finds May on the left-hand side, the Rovers goal scorer, in towards the penalty area. He just cuts back now and looks for the runners. Andrew is making his way forward. He collects it now from Alfie May. Kane on his inside is the man to receive it. Now May, slick passing from Rovers, opens up for Whiteman, 25 yards out, fires one at goal. It's relatively simple for Norman in the end, but Whiteman, as soon as he got half a yard there, knew exactly what he wanted to do, just a bit too straight in the end. Yeah,
he's not going to pass up that opportunity, is he? 25, 30 yards out of goal, that's meat and drink to him.
Ball forward from Clay. Doan gave Blair a little nudge in the back there. Blair then just clears the ball against Matty Doan, and Rovers will get a throw in deep inside their own half. 8 minutes gone, Rovers a goal up inside the opening minute. Alfie May with a header from Wilkes' cross. James Coppinger's going to have a task on his hands getting back into this team, isn't he? Goals from Wilkes and May.
I was just thinking, sadly, I think today, I don't know if Tyler Smith is, but they must be wondering, how they're going to get into this side.
Rovers win it back through May again. He's got Crawford to his left. He's going solo though, Alfie May. Lays it off for Marquis on this right-hand side. Crawford's still the only Rovers player in the box. Marquis now joins him in there with the ball at his feet. Can he get a cross in? It's blocked by Clay, and Marquis has to run back to collect the ball. Still close to the byline. Marquis playing with it. Hits it against Clay. I think he wanted a corner rather than a throw-in, but he'll have to settle for the latter. It's just quick from Rovers, isn't it? Precise when they're going forward. Rochdale can't live with them.
Been very sharp so far. Very sharp, incisive passing.
Here is Wilkes. Looks to turn away from two Rochdale bodies. He's got away from them somehow towards the penalty area. Wilkes, can he pick his head up? He's still going, Malik Wilkes. Saved by the goalkeeper. What a goal that would have been. He just goes past people, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know how the keeper managed to. I don't think the keeper knew about it either, really. But he just went through two defenders as if they weren't there, Wilkes.
Doan under pressure from Kane now. Rochdale are rattled, aren't they? Every time they get the ball, Rovers just look like they're going to win it back. And Marquis there gets a touch on Norman's clearance. Fortunately for him, the spin takes it away from the Rovers striker, but living dangerously, Rochdale. And Clay's pass to Doan is intercepted by Crawford, who gets the ball and then penalised. Looks like he just flicked it away from him. I think Doan had slipped before Crawford's tackle came in. Unfortunate there, but if this pattern of play continues, Pete, you can only see it going one way, and that's more Rovers goals, isn't it? But they have to take the chances when they come along.
They do, and that's the key to everything, obviously, and always is. But I mean, Rochdale are renowned for their pressing game and being able to close players down, but they've been chasing shadows so far.
Ball in there by Henderson, away by Butler. Kane will take over now in the midfield. Alfie May making a run on the left-hand side. He's causing Rochdale all sorts of problems, but that time Williams nips in and wins it back. They come forward again with it now, Rochdale. Adshed towards Camps, who will out-muscle Whiteman and get the ball into the box. It's up off the head of Butler, and Crawford will now chase it down and clear it upfield. Wilkes couldn't get it in front of him, Clay, and now Doan will play the ball inside. Morley, the man to collect. Shape to thread the ball through, but instead goes back to Williams now. Williams inside the Rovers half, just tentatively moving forward. Doan back to Delaney. Well, he wanted the ball out right, but instead it comes left to Clay again on this near side. Crawford looking to close him down, but Clay does well to get away from him. Doan, the man to take over. He's got Henderson, the captain, to his left. Instead he's going to go back on the inside. Just running out of options, wasn't he, in the end? Delaney, now Williams. Rovers looking to press inside the Rochdale half. They're happy to just let Rochdale have it there because they're not causing them any problems. Henderson on the inside now as they look to move forward with it. Rathbone back to Clay, and Clay with a poor ball forward, but Whiteman's touch wasn't the best, and it goes back now to Keith Hill's side. Williams under pressure from Kane, who's just like a little Yorkshire Terrier, just nibbling at his ankles, but he concedes a free kick there. As Grant McCann turns to the fourth official and has a few words in his ear.
Yeah, and we've been praising Rovers for their attacking play, the flair they've shown, and incisive passing, but there's that other side to the game which they're displaying very well in these early stages, and that's pressing the opposition and closing them down, and Rochdale will find it very hard to find a little bit of space on the ball. McGahey
then, the former Sheffield United defender, ball upfield. It's an aimless one,
just
really.
A hopeful pass because you know he's been shadowed by Alfie May there, and he just didn't have any time, didn't have any space to move the ball properly.
There's Crawford, plays it back to Butler there. Crawford got his first Rovers goal in the reverse fixture between these two sides. Got the opener back in October. Came with a header. And now Andrew can float the ball forward towards the run of Marquis. Williams comes across and will just put it out for a throw-in. Just clearing the danger there. Grant McCann, when he was asked about his first 6 months in charge and how his 2018 had gone, he said it was okay. Well, I'm sure he'll be happy with the start to 2019. Here's Andrew, left-hand side, always a danger as he looks to get forward. McGahey's there with him. Can Andrew dig out a cross? He can. It's in towards May again, away by Delaney. It'll fall for Kane, just outside the penalty area. Goes back to Butler, once again wearing the captain's armband this afternoon in the absence of Tommy Rose, only on the substitutes bench this afternoon. Rochdale win it back through Morley. Doan back to Williams now. Williams will bring it out from the back and find Delaney, who will thread it through to Doan, close to the halfway line now. Doan will look to take it beyond Anderson and Crawford, and does so successfully. So towards the edge of the area now, Doan, and Andrew just waited and waited, made the tackle at the right time, and then races with Doan to win it back. May beaten in the end by McGahey. I think Herbie Kane might be struggling a little bit. He just felt his ankle then. Henderson now in the area, first time attempted ball into the middle. It's cleared now by Lawler. Marquis will give chase. Delaney and Norman left it to each other, and then Delaney took over and will now to launch another attack. Williams to McGahey on the right hand side. Ball forward towards Camps. Nice turn inside. Henderson's made a run in beyond Blair, who was just fortunate really that the ball wasn't quite into Henderson's path because he peeled off Matty Blair. And now Rovers have possession back. Rochdale just growing into it ever so slightly the past couple of minutes or so. They do look quite dangerous when they come forward, don't they? It's particular Camps and Donans. They win it back again now as Morley threads the ball through. Adshed round the corner to Callum Camps, close to the touchline on that right hand side. McGahey busting a gut to get forward. Instead he goes back now to Morley, inside for Doan, opens up for him on his left boot. cuts back now and finds Morley again, floated ball into the area again. It's just a bit aimless, isn't it? They get into a good position and it's as if they just think, well, I'll punt it in and see if anyone fancies getting on the end of it.
Yeah, I think we've just seen, 15 minutes on the clock, certainly the first 10 minutes in my opinion, probably the best opening 10 minutes we've had this season from Rovers in terms of attacking and intent and in terms of closing players down when they haven't got the ball as well.
Here's Blair close to the touchline, looked to have drifted out of play, but it stays in for Rovers. Marquis to Crawford now on this right hand side. Beautiful turn away by Ali Crawford. Quick footwork. Lays it off for Whiteman now. Rovers have got bodies to the left. It was an inviting ball by Whiteman. He picked out Andrew, cuts it back into the middle of the park, and Kane now. Diagonal ball towards Wilkes, and Clay, who he's not the biggest, but he's got a decent spring on him, hasn't he?
He did well there. Did well to keep the ball away from Malik Wilkes, because he's been a real danger man for Rovers so far.
It looks like an avenue worth exploring time and time again on that right hand side, doesn't it? Butler with the ball forward towards Kane. It's a brilliant pass from Andy Butler, and now Crawford tried to play it through towards Kane, but just a bit too much on it that time. But Rovers looking lively in this opening 16 minutes or so. Goal up, could have been more, probably should have been more. When you see the Marquis header, that was a great save, wasn't it, from Norman, and then he pulled off another one from Wilkes, who looked to have nowhere to go and somehow got past about 3 or 4 Rochdale players. Rovers won it back again. Whiteman with the ball forward. Marquis keeps it going, and Crawford just slightly different wavelengths there, but Crawford's going to keep the pressure on, and Delaney lifts it upfield. Looked to have drifted out of play. Cliff Byrne was claiming for it. Blair goes all the way back to Ian Lawler now, who just takes a touch out of his feet, got it stuck under his feet slightly. Blair chests it down for Anderson, who calmly finds Whiteman, and now Blair can bring it forward. Bit of room on this right hand side. Rovers look like a team full of confidence,
really
so they should do. Blair finds Kane now. Crawford collects. Andrew to his left. He picks him out. Danny Andrew looking for 2 in 2 here. He'll strike it towards goal, and it would have only needed a touch from Marquis.
Yeah, and if Marquis
to direct it on target.
Yeah, and he wasn't far away from it. It was a shot by Andrew, but Marquis was alert to it and could see it was just going slightly off target. Stuck his foot out. Had he connected with the ball, it would have been in the back of the net.
It seems like everything he connects with recently is in the back of the net, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He had that little sticky spell in November where the goals dried up a little bit, but since then everything he's touched has turned to goals. You look at different types of goals as well. The Bristol Rovers one 25 yards out, top corner. The one on Saturday at Gillingham, penalty area, typical Marquis finish. As Rovers look to pinch it back again in that midfield. Crawford got a little nudge from Doan there. Grant McCann wanted the free kick. Camps instead will bring it forward. Henderson's making a run beyond Blair. It goes left now towards Henderson. He collects it, cuts inside, ball into the area, stooping header by Butler to head it out for a Rochdale throw-in. The dangerous ball in by Henderson. And then Clay now will take. Rathbone collects, cuts inside again. It's opened up for him a little bit. Does he fancy a shot from distance? It's off the head of Anderson and out for Rochdale's first corner of the afternoon. Needed dealing with, I think, didn't it?
Oh yeah, and and he dealt with it in the right way as well. McCann sending 1 or 2 of the players out in the dugout out for a run. I doubt if they're going to get on just yet though.
Rathbone lays it off for Camps, 30 yards from goal, dinked into the area towards Dome, but May covering, looked to shepherd it out for a goal kick. Is it going to go? It is, just about. I think he wanted a free kick. In the end, he'll have to settle for a goal kick, but the ball didn't look like it was going to go for Alfie May, did it? He was trying everything to make sure it did.
Yeah, I mean, a bit dubious about those sort of situations for either side when they're shepherding the ball out. I don't think it's obstruction myself.
Marquis not happy with that tackle from Rathbone as Adshed finds Morley now in the centre circle. Williams to McGahey. Ball forward, diagonal there again. He's causing Blair problems on this left hand side for Rochdale. Henderson inside the penalty area, looks to drill it across. It's off Blair. Rovers defensive unit are furious there. They feel it should have been offside in the build-up. Nothing given. But again, Henderson knows exactly what he's doing, doesn't he? Peeling off Blair, who's not a natural fullback, so he hasn't got those, if you know what I mean, that maybe a Niall Mason would have.
But I think Blair was in the right position there. He has to stay narrow. You don't want to be out on the wing with your defender, with your attacker sort of thing. So I think he did the right thing there.
Ball into the box then by Morley towards the back stick, and Delaney just sort of got underneath it, didn't he? Didn't make any contact in the end. Ball into the middle towards Crawford there from Kane is intercepted by McGahey. Keith Hill was furious with his players there for the corner. He felt it should have been made more of. McGahey can't pick out, and Clay, who's over on that far side, I'm not quite sure what he's doing over there. The ball forward from Andrew is a good one towards Wilkes, but it's just overhit slightly, and then Norman slices his clearance up into the air. Andrew will look to win it a second time. It's off McGahey, and Whiteman takes over, takes it away from Rathbone, and that's a nice ball out wide to find Wilkes. May busting a gut on this near side to get into the area. Wilkes has still got it, goes on the outside of McGahey, drills it across. Easy for Norman in the end, but so threatening every time he gets the ball, Malik Wilkes. You sense that something's going to happen. Here's Camps now for Rochdale. Crawford and Blair come across, and Crawford's the man to win the ball. How can that be a free kick? Crawford's got a touch to the ball. It's a throw-in to Rochdale.
I think it's a throw-in, but I don't... What has he given? It certainly wasn't a free kick, but that's what's been awarded, I'm afraid.
Wow. Here's Williams then for Rochdale. Morley heading towards halfway. McGahey now with the ball forward to Adshed, who drills it inside for Morley again. Crawford makes a tackle. Comes off Morley, I think. Andrew kept it in play. Wilkes looks to spin on it. Him and May have switched sides midway through this first half, and Wilkes looks to get away from McGahey again, just rolling the ball under his boot 4 or 5 times, taking the mick out of him. He's still got it. What a turn from Wilkes towards the penalty area. If a goal comes from this, it'll be magic. He goes down. Rovers get a free kick right on the edge of the area. What a piece of play that was.
Yeah, pure entertainment from Malik Wilkes. Oh dear. And now he's showing the other side and coming up against the defender there who brought him down, but he's walked away from it, thank goodness.
That was an absolutely sensational piece of play from Malik Wilkes. And if you wanted a few seconds of why Rovers have extended his loan till the end of the season, you've got the cross for the goal, and then pieces of play like that. Absolutely sensational.
Yeah, it's interesting because Herbie Kane, after he signed his contract at Liverpool and extended his loan here, he had a couple of games where he didn't play quite as well. I don't know if things have been on his mind, but Wilkes has come out the blocks after extending his loan spell and looks an absolute diamond, doesn't he?
Kane's an option here on the edge of the area if Crawford or Andrew can just play it inside to him. He's got acres of space. Surely it's worth just rolling it in and letting Kane have a go.
If the ref don't get in the way.
Crawford and Andrew over it then. Crawford whips it in towards that
what a goal!
What a goal from Ali Crawford! 22 and a half minutes gone. We were saying he should have laid it off to Kane. Instead he whips it into that top corner. What a goal from the Scottish midfielder. And it's another magic trick pulled out the hat. Brilliant from Crawford. Curled in. No chance for Norman. Rovers double their lead.
Well, he scored from an unbelievable angle there. I mean, that's almost near the corner flag, and he just whipped the ball in, just went under the crossbar. The goalie had no chance in the end. And as we're saying, Robbie's there saying just roll it to Kane because he stood.
What do I know? What do I know?
Well, there wasn't a defender within 15 yards of him, was there? But Crawford had other ideas, and ball finishes up in the back of the net, 2-0.
Tom Biltcliffe in front of me from Radio Sheffield was saying, go short. I don't think any of us were expecting that. Brilliant strike from Crawford. Looping towards that far corner. Rovers lead by 2-0.
Didn't one of his goals get voted the top goal in
the Wimbledon goal, wasn't it?
Well, if that goal doesn't match it, I mean...
Still says 1-0 on the scoreboard.
I think they've changed it now.
Yeah, thank God for that. Whiteman lays it off for Crawford here. He's been a real find for Rovers, hasn't he?
Oh, Crawford. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like him, and he works his socks off as well. He's a real hard worker, so they've made a good signing there.
Nice ball there to find Marcus, who jinks inside. He's fouled there by Morley, who Rochdale frustrated here. I think Rovers were 2-0 up in the league game here last year, I think, very early, and it was just, that was it, job done for the rest of the game.
Weren't they 2-0 up at Rochdale earlier in the season, though, and it certainly wasn't job done.
No, definitely not.
Air and scare and finish up 3-2.
Long diagonal there from Crawford to find Wilkes. Wilkes turns away from his man there, wins a free kick again. He's taking.
He's going to have to be careful though. You can't start taking the mickey out of people, and they won't like it, and that's the treatment he'll get. But who would try and prevent him?
You can't take that out of his game,
what
though,
comes naturally. Yeah,
that's just him. Free kick again in an identical position to where Crawford scored from.
I can't see him scoring.
Will he go short this time? The short option's on again.
Well, Herbie
Tom
Kane
in front of me saying yes.
Herbie Kane's still in the right place. There's a defender in front of him, and he's just run away.
I'm sure Rochdale will try and set up against it this time.
It's an even
wider, isn't it?
No, it's an even tighter angle.
The goal, I don't know if you remember, Pete, the year Rovers won promotion from League One, David Cottrell at Preston.
Yeah.
More or less identical, wasn't it? That sort of almost a corner the way he's whipped it in.
I'll put my neck on the line and say there's no way he's going to score direct from this.
Wow.
We might get a goal from it, but there's no way.
You can't move
There's
the
no
goalpost.
way he's sticking it in the back of the net.
Crawford lifts it in towards Anderson. It's off him. Norman. Pete's heart was in his mouth there for a second.
Well, no, I've been quite happy to be proved wrong.
What a start from Rovers. Crawford comes across to take again. Warm applause from those Rovers fans in front of him. Crawford and Andrew are there, two big pals, both set-piece specialists. Crawford will lift this one in right-footed, floated to the back stick. Butler's making it his, he heads it towards goal, and it's just wide of the far stick. Cliff Byrne looks to the heavens, so close to 3.
Got up really well there, Andy Butler, above the pack of defenders. And the goalkeeper leapt across his goal, but it was just wide, fortunately for Rochdale. They were sort of reeling, aren't they, after the start that Rovers have made.
Blair got a little nudge in the back there from Henderson, who disagrees with the decision, but just in the flight of the ball there, is just give Blair a little nudge, which when you're up in the air, it's easy to be put off balance, isn't it? Rovers then 2 goals up, 27 minutes gone. Calvin Andrews out warming up for Rochdale at the minute. I'm sure it won't be long. I wouldn't be surprised if Keith Hill's contemplating making a change for Rochdale in this first half, because something's got to alter, hasn't it, for them? Because
didn't he score at Scotland against us, Calvin Andrew?
Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure. He scored in the FA Cup game last season.
Might be that I'm thinking of.
Flicked header there by Marquis. May have just come inside, but he'll make sure he keeps it in on this near side now. Blair with the ball forward. It deflects into the path of Kane, who couldn't quite get there in front of Adshed. Rovers with bodies there again. It's rolled back by Rathbone to Delaney, and further back now to Norman. Long punt upfield. Andrew tries to make it his. Camps was wrestling with him for it. And now Delaney goes left to Clay, who he's had a lot to do, hasn't he, on this near side, particularly defensively. Blair looks to let that ball drift out of play. Will take the throw in. Looked to go short to Anderson, but thought better of it in the end. Crawford makes an angle for him. I think Blair's just going to punt this one up the line, isn't he? Marquis has dropped in. Long throw in from, medium length throw in from Blair in the end, wasn't it? He shaped to go long and just cut it short a little bit. Header by Anderson, just back into the path of Lawler, and it's easy for the Rovers goalkeeper to collect. Kane drops into that defensive midfield role and plays it back to Lawler again, whose clearance isn't the best, but in the end it goes pretty far, doesn't it? Nearly turned out to be a good pass to Malik Wilts. I'm sure that's not what he was intending, but hasn't really, touch wood, been tested just yet, Ian Lawler, has he, in this first half? It's been relatively routine for him. Norman, on the other hand, has probably kept Rochdale in this game with a couple of good saves. Header back by Blair there was nice and calm.
Yeah.
Here's Blair again, inside to Crawford, just stretching for it, but he finds Anderson, who bit of a strange pass to Butler, but it works out in the end. Butler then goes wide to Andrew. Wilkes offering himself on the wide left position. Butler then instead gets it back. Looks to give it to Andrew. Cuts inside now, normally going on the outside of the opposition, but instead he's going on a mazy run into the midfield. It's a nice pass to pick out Kane. Rovers making runs forward. Ball from Kane towards Marquis in the area. He'll have to stretch to keep it in. Back heel towards Wilkes, who couldn't quite get there in front of Williams. And for once, Kane's touch isn't quite on the money. Williams still inside his own penalty area, though. Rochdale looking to play their way out of danger here across their own area. And Delaney can now come left to Camps. In the end, they do well to get away from goal. Camps cuts inside now. He's got options there with him. Here's Delaney. Wide left now to Clay. Ball forward is into the path of Anderson, who just sweeps it forward. Delaney with a touch straight away. Marquis puts him under pressure, gives him a little nudge, and then Anderson with a stooping header there. Doan almost give him a little kick in the face there, but Anderson got out the way quick enough. What have you made to the opening half an hour then, Pete?
I'll tell you the player who's most fed up at the moment, and that is the right back for Rochdale, Harrison McGahey, because Wilkes has switched to the left hand side and is giving him nightmares at the moment.
Butler there covering after the ricochet took it beyond Tom Anderson. Lawler clears up and beyond halfway. May looking to try and keep it in on this near side. The spin of the ball will allow him to do so, and Clay has to concede a throw in. Good pressure from Alfie May, earns applause from the Rovers fans. Blair will come forward to take, with Crawford and May as the options. It is Crawford who just beaten to it by Rathbone, who then almost lets the ball drift out for a corner, and then Clay sweeps it against May and then clears it out for another throw in. It seems a bit last ditch at times when it doesn't really need to be from Rochdale. They're putting themselves in a couple of tricky positions due to Rovers' pressing.
Yeah, I think they've just been rattled, haven't they? They can't have expected the whirlwind start the Rovers have made.
Blair on this right hand side then. May there with him. He collects. Got the opening goal this afternoon, Alfie May. Crawford tries to pick out Blair, who tries to just shrug off Morley, but Rochdale clear. Only as far as Butler on halfway. Flick round the corner from May, who then will have to chase his own ball. And Clay clears it out for a throw in. Nice touch from Grant McCann. And cheers from the Rovers fans. Outside of the foot. Pass to Matty Blair, but he'll have to give him again here. Oh, beautiful little flick from the Rovers manager. Still got it. Blair.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad player, was he?
No. Definitely, he'd have been proud of that free kick from Crawford.
He would.
Here's Blair now. Ball through towards Crawford, who gets a touch to it. Kane with a sliding tackle on in Clay. Whiteman looks to drive forward from midfield. He'll get another go at it, and then he's fouled by Doan. And a free kick in another promising area here for Rovers.
Was that a signal from Grant McCann there to have a shot at goal to Ben Whiteman? I mean, if
I'm sure he'll be.
If Ali Crawford can score from the angle he scored from outside the box, yeah.
Andrew, Crawford, Whiteman, Kane.
Yeah, they all want to go. Malik Wilkes is coming over and Marquis now, yeah. Let me get in on it.
That's the thing, isn't it? You're looking at it, you've got Marquis there with 16 goals. Rovers are 2-0 up, and he hasn't really, apart from the header, hasn't had too much in terms of goal scoring opportunities. That's exactly what you want, though, isn't it? If he doesn't score, you need someone else to step up and do the business. Whiteman's walked away from it now, so it looks like it's going to be Andrew or Crawford.
Kane's still hanging about, though, and he's not bad from this. There we go.
Andrew goes short to Marquis, who lays it off for Whiteman. Forced slightly wide, but he'll get a ball into the box here towards Marquis.
Oh, what a goal!
There's his chance, there's his goal for John Marquis. 17 goals this season, a well-worked set-piece routine. It was Marquis who laid it off for Whiteman. Ball into the box, and there was the number 9 to guide it home with his head. What a player he is. Rovers have got an absolute goal machine on their hands. Rovers 3, Rochdale 0.
Yeah, 3-0, 34 minutes on the clock. What a goal. I mean, you couldn't say that was an intended, well-worked set-piece because I think it went a bit slightly wrong at the start because the ball got played too far wide for Ben Whiteman to have a bang-on goal, but he moved it along, got further along on the left-hand side and just crossed it into the middle. Marquis rose, balls in the back of the net. 17 goals for the season, 3-0 to Rovers.
As his name rings out from the Rovers fans. 14 in the league now for Marquis, 17 in all competitions. What a season he's having. He's on course to get even more than he did in the League 2 season, isn't he? Blair with the ball forward towards Crawford, but it's intercepted by Adcher. Rovers just need to make sure now they don't take the foot off the gas, don't they? That's the key. as Rovers keep coming left now, and Andrew will keep it in. Grant McCann wanted that working quicker. He's frustrated that Rovers haven't gone on and attacked in a more dangerous position, but they still have possession. Kane close to the halfway line, just drops it off for Butler now. Still 10 minutes to go until half time. Rovers lead by 3-0. Kane just jogging forward, plays it to Anderson and Blair now on this right hand side. Kane's in a bit of room, he'll get on the end of this. Herbie Kane, will he? No, he won't, and Clay wins it. It almost reaches us in the press box. It's probably the closest it's gone this season, hasn't it, to reaching us.
Ben Parkinson's got it in the end, I think.
Oh, what's going on? Ball's flying everywhere.
Somebody tried to return the ball to the pitch and
gone the complete wrong way.
Clipped one of the supporters on the back of the head.
Wow, it's a good job it's not as cold as it was a couple of weeks ago. That would have come keen. Crawford there in the end outnumbered. And then Marquis concedes a probably needless foul on Rathbone. A little bit naughty. Free kick taken short then. Morley brings it forward and goes sideways in the end to Williams. Williams gives it straight back to him. He's going to try the diagonal here. Blair's got himself in a position. He should win the header, but he's beaten in the air by Henderson and then gets there a second time around. Morley brings it down under pressure straight away from Crawford. Goes left to Clay. Henderson with the ball inside now to Rathbone. Tries to return the favour, and then Blair's clattered by Clay. And then it's a Rochdale man who wins a free kick while Blair was on the floor.
I think Blair was making sure he wasn't going past him, wasn't he? In fairness.
Smart defending, I think, wasn't it? As long as Rochdale don't score from this. Paul Gerrard sparking out some defensive instructions now. Rovers have scored from 2 set pieces. Now they need to make sure they don't concede from one at the other end. It's Morley over it. 2-man wall, Wilkes and May. Everybody back inside the Rovers penalty area in a red and white shirt. In green if you're Ian Lawler. Morley then over it. Looks to whip it in towards that far stick. Should go over everyone. In the end, Lawler's got to deal with it. Punches it away. Gets good distance on it. It looked like it was going to drift.
Yeah, it did, but there was a Rochdale player there, and Lawler did. I think Lawler dealt with that really well.
Another player, isn't he, who's just improving week by week. It took him a while to get back into the team when Morosi was at the start of the season, but I think the decision's probably been vindicated, hasn't it? You look at games he's played and he's not really put a foot wrong. Again, touch wood. Camps comes inside now, lays it off. Rathbone, 25 yards out, fires one at goal. That wasn't too far away, just wide.
But then again,
Lawler's left hand post.
Lawler did have it covered, I think.
He had that one covered.
I like to
singing his praises there. I'll say he had it covered.
But it just shows you, I mean, they are still dangerous, and it suddenly becomes a different game again if they get one back, doesn't it? But 3-0 up, and you know, when as I say, and Rochdale coming off a 4-0 defeat at the end of 90 minutes, they suddenly find themselves 3-0 down, and with only just over half an hour on the clock.
Free kick to Rochdale there, a little nudge in the back from Wilson and Clay, and Rochdale will get the decision and look to take it quickly, and Clay rolls the ball out from under his feet. And we'll switch it right now to Williams, the right side centre half. Kane looks to nip it in front of Morley, but Rochdale managed to keep possession on that occasion. It's a poor clearance over from Norman, goes straight up into the air and almost out for a Rovers throw. It's picked up by May now from McGarhy, who goes down. And this is a decent angle for a Crawford free kick, Pete.
He's going to get booked for that.
Yellow card for McGarhy. May stayed down. I don't know if there's too much in that. Wow, Bradford City 2-0 up. They're I wouldn't say flying, but they're absolutely picked up, haven't they, since a poor start to the season. They lead Accrington by 2-0. Sunderland a goal up at Blackpool. Josh Marger there, him and Marquis, 2 of the leading scorers in the league. Rochdale obviously 3-0 down here. Charlton 2-0 against Walsall. Scunthorpe a goal up at Peterborough. There's plenty of goals about early on. Portsmouth lead Wimbledon by a goal to 0, and Coventry are a goal up at Wickham. So plenty of early goals in 2019. Rovers have another free kick here, looking to make it 4 before half time. Crawford on his right boot. It's another deep one. It's all the way across. Wilkes coming in on it. Couldn't get a touch.
What a cross,
whisker
though.
Away from being 4. Wow. I think Wilkes wanted a penalty, didn't he? He's coming across to the official on this near side. Wow.
What a delivery by Crawford, though. You know, you look at this side, you got players like Crawford and Danny Andrew who can deliver the ball like that. That's just inviting. That's begging to be to end up in the net, isn't it?
Ball forward there, Anderson makes it his. Kane with a header forward, flicked on by Wilkes, is collected by Marquis and then back into the path of the Leeds loanee, who tries to cut inside. In the end, Marquis is the man to win it back. He switches it left. Kane got the shout from Andrew and let it go to him, who then lets it run even further. Alfie May collects and finds Kane on the inside. May was then fouled as he tried to make his run, and Rovers are going to get another free kick.
Yeah.
A lot of free kicks down that Rovers left in this first half. Kane takes that one quickly, but he's going to be called back anyway, and I think that'll probably be the better option after the deliveries from Crawford in this first half. He's probably earned himself the number one in the pecking order for set pieces this afternoon. There's a lot of competition in there.
No, he certainly has.
Not a bad bench either for Rovers this afternoon. Rowe, Taylor, Coppinger. Compared to Saturday, it's a lot more experience than the substitutes bench at Priestfield Stadium, as Crawford will again whip this one in. It's another great delivery towards Marquis, and again it's a couple of inches wide of that far post. What a delivery from Crawford. That's 3 or 4 now, right on the money.
Do you think Marquis actually got a touch or not on that? If he got a firmer touch, it
was in.
It's in the back of the net. I mean, that's Premier League class in terms of delivery from set pieces. That you can't get better than that.
Right on the money for Marquis. It was an attempted glancing header, wasn't it? Whether he got anything on it or not. It was almost Crawford's second.
Here we go.
As now Marquis looks to run in behind Williams. He might get onto the end of it still. Williams turns back into trouble but gets his pass away to Inclay, who plays it further forward now for Henderson. Ball inside towards Doan. Anderson made it his, and now Whiteman finds Kane again. Little Cruyff turn from Herbie Kane. He's in the end, he just wanted a bit too long on it, but May wins it back anyway. Rovers relentless in this first half. He goes left now to Andrew, who will look to dig out a cross early on again. It's a dangerous one away by Williams, and now Morley with some defending to do. McGarhy will clear it forward. Foul. No, he won't, because Andrew's pulled up for a foul a couple of seconds ago. Into the final few minutes of this first half, Rovers lead by 3-0. Ball forward from Norman then, it was almost away by Butler, flicked on by Camps. You get so used to him winning the headers, you sort of predicting it before it's even happened. Throw into Rochdale around a few yards back from the edge of the penalty area. McGarhy, who's had a torrid time, hasn't he? I'm sure he'll be glad to see the back of Wilkes. How he's moved back over to the right hand side as Marquis looks to put Williams under pressure. Wilkes does the same to Delaney, and they just keep it going left, Rochdale, for the time being. Now Clay can play it forward. Camps on the left hand side finds Rathbone, who's got a bit of space to move into. McGarhy's made a run forward on the right hand side. Instead, though, he goes back to Williams on halfway. Now McGarhy again, May there with him. Williams will float the ball forward towards Henderson. Again, just a little nudge in the back on Blair, but Henderson will keep the ball in. Back to Clay now, who tries to go inside to Camps. He'll get the ball back from a ricochet off Crawford. Cuts inside now, Camps. Goes right towards McGarhy. Rovers have got bodies out there, but they just couldn't quite get to it. Attempt to ball in, is blocked by May anyway. And Rochdale will get another throw in on the far side this time. Rovers look cool though, don't they, when they haven't got the ball? Happy to let Rochdale have it in certain areas, and as soon as it comes to a certain position, that's when the press comes. Wilkes here looking to put Delaney under even more pressure. He does well in the end to switch it left and then goes down, the Rochdale defender. Henderson brings it forward and looks for Clay. Close to the area, drill ball in, but it's picked up by Kane now, and Rovers can look to counter. See if he can switch the play. Wilkes is in a bit of room on this right hand side. Instead he goes left to May. May can approach the penalty area now. Kane's still there with him. Can May pick out the right ball? Cuts in on his right hand side, dinks one up towards Wilkes, away by Delaney. Whiteman takes over, he fires one in. It's blocked on the floor by Clay, and Rovers just can't quite get a shot on target, but desperate defending in the end from Rochdale. As it opened up for Whiteman, you're expecting the keeper to be tested, but it was good defending by Clay on the floor to make the block. Kane goes left again to Alfie May. Rovers using the wide areas to full effect this afternoon. Kane then back to Andrew. May tried to return the favour, but I think Andrew and Adshed just got in each other's way, and it was a Rochdale man who fell to the ground. Whiteman taking no chances all the way back to Ian Lawler inside the Rovers penalty area. Patient, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Rovers just got to be careful not to get too carried away with this and try and you know, play the one-man type football that they're prone to do at times in this game, and trying to turn on the style, as it were. They've got to stay professional if they want to score more goals and win by an even bigger margin.
Ball upfield is headed up into the air by Delaney, flicked on by Adshed, and then Butler takes over. Andrew tries to switch the play, it gets a ricochet and falls into the path of May, who had a bit of a high boot there, but he has a shot from distance, leaning back slightly. Applause from Grant McCann and the Rovers fans.
Yeah.
I thought the referee might have brought it back for a high boot, but he didn't in the end, and May tried his luck. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. Barely had time to draw breath with all the attacking play Rovers have had. Rochdale have only really had the one shot, haven't they, from Rathbone that went just wide.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Lawler's not had a save to make, has he? I think they've had a couple of corners as well, and that's been the sum total of their attacking efforts. Such has been Rovers' dominance in this first half.
Ball forward from Norman towards Doan, then flicked on by the Rochdale man, but it's into the path of Andrew now. Forward to Wilkes, who looks to roll McGarhy again, and he must be thinking, why have you come over here again? 2 or 3 times now Wilkes and May have switched sides. It's working, isn't it? I think that the Rochdale defence can't get set because you've got on one side Wilkes when he wants to cut inside, then he goes out onto the left and wants to go on the outside, so it's hard to play against. Here's Henderson now, the Rochdale captain. Rathbone takes over and looks to go out onto the left hand side. May's tracked him back, and the ball forward is not the best. Blair clears it out for a throw, and it comes off a Rochdale man, and Rovers get the decision. That should just about be that for this first half. Rovers will take this throw in, and then you would think it's time for a half-time refreshment break. Very, very impressive first half. There is the half-time whistle. Rovers 3 goals up in their first game in 2019. You couldn't have asked for a better start than that. Alfie May got them on the board after just 40 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Keepmoat Stadium. 2 changes for Rochdale at the break. Calvin Andrew and Brad Inman replacing Daniel Adshed and Aaron Morley. We're about to get back underway. Rovers' first game of 2019. What a start to the year, Pete. Opening 45 minutes, 3 goals to 0. More of the same, please.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Let's hope we can keep it going.
Fingers crossed. I don't think Grant McCann's the sort of manager to say sit back, is he? As Andrew, the half-time sub, comes away with it. Alfie May's hobbling. It's a touch off Whiteman there. Andrew's ball into the box towards Henderson. He drags his shot well wide in the end, but good little bit of play there from Rochdale. Alfie May's still hobbling on this near side.
Yeah, so Inman on for Adshead. I didn't quite catch the other one, Robbie.
Andrew on for Morley.
Yeah. And he's a big lad, Andrew, as well, isn't he? He could make an impact. But
yeah, he's a danger from balls into the box, isn't he? A big striker. Looks like he's going to play wide of the 3, though. He's dragged out onto this near side at the minute as Camps and Butler go in the air. Whiteman was the meat in the sandwich there as Wilkes takes a nudge in the back. Marquis has the ball at his feet. Rovers have got a free kick anyway. So Rovers then lining up with Lawler in goal. The back 4 of Blair, Anderson, Butler and Andrew. Whiteman, Kane and Crawford in midfield with Wilkes, Marquis and May in attack. On the bench, Morosi, Rowe, Taylor, Amos, Coppinger, London, Bucock as Rochdale win it back. On that far side.
I think the thing for Rovers is, you know, you can go 2 ways in this second half. You can end up with Rochdale trying to fight back and having some success, or Rovers can keep this going. But I like it when they try and express themselves, but I think they're going to be careful with overdoing the showboating a bit too much. They've got to stay professional and just try and continue the way they did in the first half.
There's Inman, the substitute, lays it off for Rathbone, opens up for him, he fancies a shot at goal here. Lawler claims it, almost got away from him, but he makes sure he's got it. It's Paul Mayfield just doing laps of the Keepmoat at the minute, I think, in front of us. Running about all over the place.
Lawler did really well there to hang on to the ball, because if he'd let it squirm from his grasp, there was a Rochdale striker there ready to take advantage.
Here's McGarhy now, had a torrid time in that first half. Rochdale have changed personnel and changed tactics here, and Clay's now at right back. So they're lining up with Norman in goal, and Clay, McGarhy, Delaney and Doan in a back four. Williams has moved into a three-man midfield with Rathbone and Camps, and then Inman, Henderson and Andrew as a front three. We'll go through the subs in a second. Rovers are on the attack now with Whiteman. Got three bodies in front of him there, but Whiteman carries on going. Crawford tried to flick it around the corner but couldn't get there. Rathbone comes away with it. Very direct running there from the Rochdale man. Kane's done well to stay with him. Rathbone cuts inside and finds Calvin Andrew now. Just wants to do a bit too much with it. Wants a free kick, not going to get it there. As Andrew then finds Marquis with his back to goal. Lays it off for Andrew again. Good ball inside to find Whiteman. It's quick, incisive passing from Rovers. It did the damage in the first half. We'll be looking for more of the same in this second. Rathbone collects it now from Williams. Whiteman, who loves a tackle. The ball just runs out of play there. That's a Rovers throw-in, isn't it?
Thought it should have been, but he's given the other way.
And Clay gets on with it. Back to McGarhy now, who had a first half full of running back towards his own goal. Yellow card in the process. Sure, Rovers will be targeting him again. That's maybe why he's moved inside, just so he doesn't have to do much of the running on the flanks. Yeah,
it's interesting, the change in formation and positional changes that Keith Hill's made, but so far they're doing a little bit better than they were the first half anyway.
Good defending there, not once but twice from Anderson. His ball forward is out of play now for a Rochdale throw-in. The remaining Rochdale substitutes: Lillis, McNulty, Williams, Gillam and Matheson. The referee just making sure the throw-in's taken from the right position. Doan back to Delaney now. Ball upfield from Delaney. Blair covering, gets his header to it. Camps takes over, looks to go towards the edge of the Rovers area, and Anderson commits a cynical foul. Yellow card there for the Rovers defender, probably the clearest yellow card you're going to see all season. Camps, it looked like a bit of a clash of knees as well, didn't it? Sometimes the most painful ones. Camps is still down. Anderson's back to his feet now.
It was a sort of a
no nonsense tackle.
They shall not pass tackle, that, wasn't it? Yeah, cleaned him out basically.
Yeah, he's struggling here, the Rochdale midfielder. 50 minutes gone, Rovers 3, Rochdale 0, but a free kick here in a dangerous position for Rochdale once Camps gets back to his feet.
You'd fancy Ali Crawford from here, wouldn't you, with the way he'd play the first half, but
yeah, Camps still feeling the effects of that Tom Anderson tackle. Looks like he's stretching out that knee, doesn't he? Right knee.
I think he was stretching as the tackle was made, and which made it a bit worse.
Rovers again have everybody back inside their own area. Camps back to his feet now. Struggling now. Hobbling off onto that far side. So Rochdale down to 10 men. I don't think... I thought the rules had changed, so if you get a yellow card, if a player gets a yellow card in the tackle, you don't have to go off the field, but maybe I'm wrong. It does happen from time to time. Free kick here then to Rochdale. Can they try and get a goal back in this game? Inman and Doan are over it. It will be swung in by Inman. Whiteman volleys clear. The wind just catches it a little bit and ensures it stays in the Rovers half. Whiteman though gets there not once but twice, and Mays on his bike. Can he get there in front of the goalkeeper here? He's out quickly, Norman, to clear. Wilkes lets the ball bounce when he could have probably brought it down. And Rochdale win it back. Whiteman gets a touch on it though. Inman loses out, and now Wilkes can come away with it up against Camps, who's only just come back onto the pitch following that knock to the knee. Brilliant from Wilkes to get inside. Williams there again. He's going on the outside now, Wilkes. Where's he going to go this time? Opens it up on that left boot. Dangerous ball in towards Marquis, away by Clay. Andrew chests it down. Crawford gets a touch to it. Kane waits for the ball to come back from Rathbone. Andrew now to Marquis. Marquis cuts inside. Finds Crawford. Ball back towards Kane, who twists away from Rathbone. Wins Rovers a free kick. Clever from Herbie Kane.
Yeah, he's having another good game, Andy Kane, but wherever you look on the pitch, especially in the first half, you couldn't see a weak link among Rovers, and you saw players who were playing well above average. And we got over the ball again. It's Ali Crawford. I don't think he's going to score from here this time, but you never know,
though, isn't it?
You never know.
Put it in a dangerous position, and it might not need a touch, even if it's not a shot. I'm reliably informed, Pete. Billy Sharp has scored again for Sheffield United. Ball in by Crawford towards the back stick, and it was in that area of uncertainty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With the attendance here at the Keepmoat, 7,408, 380 of those visitors from Rochdale. But yeah, Billy Sharp, what more can you say about him? If Tyler Smith has got any of his qualities in terms of goal scoring, Rovers have got a real player. 220 goals for Billy Sharp now in the Football League. Incredible.
Yeah, isn't he the highest scorer this century?
This century,
yeah. Congratulations to
player.
him.
He's one of those. He's probably in my time of watching Rovers, probably the best natural finisher I've seen. Obviously, you've seen a lot more than me, Pete, but he must be right up there with the clinicalness.
Oh yeah, but we have been blessed with one or two in the past as
Here's
well.
Andrew bringing it forward down the left-hand side. May collect. He's got a goal to his name this afternoon. He likes scoring against Rochdale, scored against them here last season in the league, just over a year ago. Kane inside to Crawford. Crawford gets it straight back from Callum Camps. He wasn't intending to, but Rovers have it on this left-hand side. Kane shapes to pass, rolls it under his studs, and then finds Whiteman. Whiteman forward to Wilkes, who looks to turn away from Donny. Almost succeeded. Couldn't quite get there in the end, though. Ball forward from Delaney there. Header from Blair. Henderson's going to nip it in front of Blair now. Blair keeps it in and plays it forward towards Marcus, who tries to use his strength. It's off Delaney and out for a Rovers throw-in. It's not been as fast-paced, has it, for Rovers in the second half?
No, but you would expect them to slow down a little bit, and this is when they need to use a bit of guile and imagination as well as the razzmatazz they showed in the first half.
Wilkes went down. He's still going towards the edge of the area. He's still going, Wilkes. Can he pick the pass out all the way to the back stick? May's waiting. Important header by Clay to deny the Rovers striker. He's still got it though, Alfie May, close to the byline. Tough tackle by Clay. May just gets up and gets on with it straight away. As Rovers win another free kick. How many free kicks have they had in that little pocket on the left-hand side? Crawford again, the man to come over.
The problem for Rochdale is that they found it very difficult being able to deal with Rovers legitimately, and they've had to resort to fouls now and again just to keep them out.
Crawford and Andrew over it then. It's in another good position for Crawford to swing it in. 55 minutes gone. Rovers 3, Rochdale 0. Can they add a fourth here? Waiting the referee's whistle. He just wants to chat with somebody, I think. He walked towards the area. Now he walks away. Crawford and Andrew still waiting to take this free kick. There is the referee's whistle. Crawford on it then. Right foot. Dangerous ball in off the head of Clay. Marquis will make sure it goes out for a corner before Norman can get there. Another chance for Rovers to swing it in. Marquis wants to get on with it quickly. He does it. Crawford now at a better angle. Floats one up towards the back stick. Anderson's up there. Wins the header. May on the overhead kick. Gets it completely wrong. And over the crossbar, but shaped up for it.
Would have been spectacular if it had come off, but
yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Made a complete hash
9
of it.
9 times out of 10 it does end up how it ended up.
Yeah.
Fair play to him though, full of confidence clearly.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be this stage of the game when you're winning 3-0 and putting in the performance that they have been doing.
He's absolutely clattered there by McGahey. Plays allowed to continue anyway. Marquis towards the area, up against Clay. Can he dig out across here? John Marquis, it's a low one and McGahey will clear. Andrew with his back to goal. Tries to buy the foul out of his namesake Danny. Not given. Throw in instead. Ball's now worked across the Rochdale penalty area, and Delaney floats it forward towards Inman, who rolls Blair. He does well there, the substitute. He's galloping forward close to the edge of the penalty area now. He's got Doan on the overlap, instead goes back inside towards Rathbone, and then Rochdale just forced back a little bit. Here's Clay on the right hand side, playing in both fullback positions this afternoon. His cross is poor, it's off May. Rathbone with a header forward, or Williams rather, with a header forward, and now May can collect on this near side. He's got Clay there with him, clears it upfield, collected by Delaney on halfway. Nice touch from the centre half, forward towards Inman. Blair steps in and wins it. He's got Wilkes up with him, but Blair, we know what he can do in an attacking sense. He cuts it inside for Wilkes, who has even more space in that right hand channel. Can he open up for a shot here? Wilkes off the defender,
off his hand,
and cleared by Clay. But he deserves a goal, doesn't he, Malik Wilkes, for his performance this afternoon?
Absolutely.
Andrews throwing towards May, and Clay gets there again. Throwing upfield now for Andrew. Rovers 3-0 up and looking to get 4 and 5 and keep pushing. That's what the message from Grant McCann will have been. He's not the type of manager, is he, to sit off. Anderson back to his goalkeeper Lawler then, who just lets the ball roll into his penalty area before lifting it upfield out wide towards Kane, who will bring it down. Offside given. Weird one, wasn't it?
Didn't look offside, but
yeah, it was maybe Kane who was flagged. The ball's going to be moved back a few yards now. Alfie May was just doing a few keepy-ups with his head. Williams now just inside the Rovers half. Long ball out wide to Doan, who collects. Goes inside to Inman now. Doan on the overlap. He's returned the favour there. Inman, good ball. Doan with the ball in towards Henderson, and Anderson and Butler combine in the end to clear. Wilkes can now bring it forward. He's got Crawford there with him. He finds Crawford. Crawford keeps it going to Wilkes again on halfway. Looks to go beyond Williams. He's got the pace to do it. Williams brings him down. It's got to be a yellow card, hasn't it? Cynical.
Yeah, he had the pace to do it, and the Rochdale player knew that. That's resulted in him just barging into Wilkes, really, and bringing him to the ground.
Free kick to Rovers on the right hand side this time. I think Tommy Rowe might be about to come on with just over half an hour remaining. Not a bad player to bring on at 3-0 up, is he?
No, he's not.
Crawford's going to take this free kick then. It's a deep delivery, another good delivery towards the back stick. Anderson's there. It's going to fall for Andrew here. Does he fancy another one for Rovers? It's off the boot of Anderson, I think, and away by Clay. Crawford's got a bit of defending to do now at the other end. He can't get there in front of Inman though. Goes towards the edge of the area. Blair coming across.
What a great tackle
by Matty Blair, and he keeps it in play as well. Inman was moving forward at pace. Blair came across, got everything in front of the ball, and denied Inman a shot at goal. But that's what the Rovers fans want to see as well, isn't it? That effort and determination to not concede. Brilliant.
Brilliant work by Matty Blair, and he gets congratulated by Ben Whiteman for that as well. Great togetherness in this Rovers team, isn't there? You can see that with the way they support each other and praise each other when they're doing the right things.
Very close-knit group, I think, isn't it? Marquis back to Blair now. Blair towards the number 9 again. He goes down. I thought the referee put his whistle to his mouth then, but didn't give the free kick. Camps tucks to get away from Whiteman now, and Clay coming forward on the right hand side. Back to McGarhy, who finds Williams under pressure. Not the best ball back to Delaney. Crawford's putting him under pressure now. Back to Norman, who just lifts it upfield towards Calvin Andrew. It's a relatively simple header back by Andy Butler into the arms of Lawler, who gets on with it quickly. Kane drops in and finds Tom Anderson. Anderson floats it forward now towards Wilkes, who chests it down. Look at that for a turn. Go through the Rochdale bodies rather than around them.
Yeah, you're not going to stop him showboating, that is for sure.
Rathbone can't quite get on the end of that pass from Inman, who's had an impact, hasn't he, since coming on? Brandon Inman.
Yeah.
Camps now in the Rochdale half. Straight pass to Whiteman, who collects. May with his back to goal. Went a bit too long on that, and Clay nips in and Williams takes over now. Rathbone's ball back, hits the referee, but still finds Delaney. Now Doan. Rathbone again looks to get away from Alfie May, who just had a chunk of his shirt, concedes a free kick for it. It's as we said, it's probably an expected downturn in pace, shall we say, in tempo from the first half, but at 3-0 up, Rovers they don't need to go and win this game, do they?
No, but you got to give credit to Rochdale as well. You know, they're a good, honest, hard-working side, and they're having a go. Their heads haven't gone down. They're not give up the ghost yet.
Down on the left-hand side, good ball in towards Andrew, and Lawler and Danny Andrew nearly got in each other's way there. Danny might have taken a little bit of a knock from his goalkeeper.
Good collect by Lawler, that was.
Peterborough 2-0 down against Scunthorpe, which is good for Rovers' playoff chase, isn't it? Up to 6 as it stands, and I'm sure Grant McCann, when he looks at that table and sees Rovers above his former club, Peterborough, I'm sure he'll have a nice little smile on his face.
I think he will.
He won't tell anyone though. Camps cuts inside now and finds Andrew. Ball back to Williams, who looks to sweep it left for Inman, up against Blair now. Those two were up against each other a moment or two ago, and Blair's last-ditch tackle denied Inman a shot at goal. Rathbone now with the ball out wide to Doan again. They've had some joy down the left in this second half. Doan looks to float one across, easy though for Whiteman, and now Kane can look to get there in front of Delaney. It's a chance if Rovers can work this. They've got May and Marquis to Kane's left. Kane keeps it going anyway. Wilkes is making a run behind him, but Kane just really kept it a bit too long there before releasing the pass, and Tommy Rowe is stripped and ready to come on.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be James Coppinger, because this game is ripe for somebody like Coppinger to come on and get Rovers on the front foot again, but so is Tommy Rowe. And
Clay collects on this near side, then the Rochdale right, just outside the penalty area. He does brilliantly to get away from Danny Andrew. Low ball in, great defending by Whiteman. It'll fall for Williams on the angle. Ball into the box, Henderson with a header, easy for Lawler. And Rochdale just getting a bit ahead of steam, really. Not really causing Rovers too many problems in terms of goal-mouth action, but they're getting into some good areas. Wilkes looks to get away from Rathbone there, does brilliantly, and then backheels it to Alfie May. May cuts inside. Kane's in acres of space if May can pick his head up and find him. Here he is, the Liverpool loanee. He opens up for him. Does he fancy a shot? Instead he goes left to Marquis. Marquis he tried to float the ball in, comes off the header and Clay, and out for a Rovers throw-in. But Kane there, but some of the goals he's scored this season, you wouldn't have been surprised if when that opened up for him, he took it on from distance. Coppinger is going to come on with Tommy Rowe. What a double sub that is. Rowe and Coppinger. 26 minutes to go, 3-0 up. Bring on arguably two of your best players. Crawford now on the edge of the area. Andrew, good ball in from Andrew towards May, away by McGarhy, and now cleared by Rathbone. Butler just misjudged the flight of the ball for once there. Not very often you see that. And now Andrew can bring it forward for Rochdale. Kane tracking back. Brilliant tackle by Herbie Kane. Didn't give up the ghost there. Kept on going. Brilliant tackle.
That's superb by Herbie Kane. That's what he's got in his locker. A bit of everything. He loves a tackle. He can spray the ball all over the pitch. What a player he's going to be.
What a player he is.
Well, he is.
He is now. Imagine how good he could be.
We're talking about League One, and he's going to have to be even better to become a Premier League player, and I think he can be.
Camps lays it off towards Rathbone there, and now Rovers can counter. Wilkes brings it forward. He gets the wrong side of Camps and is fouled, and that might be another yellow card for Rochdale. How many times has a Rochdale player been booked for a foul on Malik Wilkes this afternoon? Here comes a double substitution then. Interesting to see who comes off here, because Ali Crawford's been brilliant. It's Herbie Kane coming off for Tommy Rowe. Not very often he's come off this season, is it? Look at that, warm applause from three sides of the Keepmoat Stadium. Alfie May's the second man to come off. Warm applause from the Rovers fans. Grant McCann puts his arm around Herbie Kane. Alfie May, the next man coming off. A goal to his name this afternoon. Job done for Alfie May. Again, the Rovers fans appreciating what they've seen this afternoon.
It's funny that, because a mate of mine who rates himself as a football pundit just texted me a message. They need to bring Herbie Kane off and rest him, and lo and behold, I think maybe it might be Grant McCann in disguise texting me. I don't know, but he called that one right.
James Coppinger's name rings out as he enters the field of play. Didn't play on Saturday at Gillingham. Small knock. I think Grant McCann said afterwards if it was a cup final on Saturday he would have played. So Just maybe a bit of time to rest and recover and come back fresh for a big set of fixtures in January. Here's Wilkes on the right hand side for Rovers, up against Rathbone. Rovers get the throw in.
But as you say, Robbie, you know, what a pair to bring on. Rowe and Coppinger bring fresh legs on at this stage of the game. You know, Keith Hill must be pulling his hair out on the Rochdale bench.
Has he got any?
Well, you never know. He keeps it hidden under that woolly cap, doesn't he?
Whiteman to Rowe. Good area this for Rovers if they can try and thread a ball through. Whiteman looks to float one out to the far side. Andrews there, but he's crowded out by 2 Rochdale bodies. He does bring it down now though. Finds Coppinger on the left hand side, or left hand channel should we say. Whiteman back to Coppinger again. Coppinger left to Andrew now. Opens up for him from the run of Coppinger. Here he is, the Rovers substitute. Coppinger looking to jink away from 2 Rochdale men. In the end he's crowded out. Camps finds Henderson. Crawford got a touch to it, and then Rathbone does well to get away from Tommy Rowe. And Clay there gets away from Marquis now. He can bring it forward, the South African defender, up towards Inman, but it's easy that time for Blair, and he can pick his pass. It's a nice one actually, floated towards Coppinger, who can move it forward and find Marquis on the left. He's got Rowe in there with him, but the offside flag is up on the far side, and that's a bit sloppy, isn't it, when you're looking across the line. Probably the best position to not get caught offside.
Would you settle for 3-0, Robbie?
If you'd have said to me before the game 3-0, I'd have snapped your hand off.
I think you settle for 3-0 any time.
Settle for 3-0, of course, yeah. I'd take a fourth in injury time. I think I went 3-1 in the Office Prediction League, so I'm not too far off. Of course, I don't want Rochdale to score, so Camps goes left now to Doan. He can swing a ball in, deep ball in as well. Anderson's got to deal with it. It'll fall for Williams on the edge of the area. Driven shot off Rowe, and now Henderson on the right hand side. Andrew stands him up. It's a ball out wide now to Clay, who can try and run at Coppinger. Deep ball in again, right footed. Lawler talking to Blair, who headed out for a corner when he didn't really need to, did he? I don't know if he was trying to head it back to Lawler, but if he was, then it's
yeah, but you don't know who's behind you in that sort of situation.
It's where communication comes in, isn't it?
It's safety first.
Here's Doan now, lays it off for Rathbone, edge of the area, chance for a shot maybe. Instead he goes back into the box and Inman. It hits Marquis. He's going to get another go at it, the substitute Inman. Rathbone there with him. Instead he finds Doan. Doan back onto his right foot now. Finds Inman. Across to Pagahi, who midway inside the Rovers half is the deepest Rochdale player. It's going to fall to Doan again on the edge of the area. Does he fancy a shot? It's all the way across. A couple of ricochets. I think it's gone out for a corner on this near side. Whiteman was the man who threw himself at it, hit him, and could have gone anywhere in the end. Rovers are happy to concede a corner. Inman's come across to take it, then Doan there with him. Henderson's making a run for the short option. Andrew would track him, and now they do take it short. Henderson back to Inman on the edge of the penalty area here. Doan onto his left boot, fancies another one from distance, blocked by Marquis. It'll fall for Rathbone, who fluffs his lines completely, and Rovers do clear, and now they can push out. Ball forward from Magahi to Clay, who's in his more favoured left hand side position that time. Great ball in, away by Anderson, and now Crawford should clear. He lays it off for Blair, who just hammers it upfield and looks for a run of Wilkes. If Wilkes could have stretched out there, it would have been a brilliant ball from Blair in the end. Don't think he intended it, but so it's nice to see Crawford getting a full, well, it looks like he'll play the majority of this game now. He's normally the one who comes off, isn't he, when Rowe or Coppinger, whoever it is, coming on, but today I don't think you can take him off given how he's played.
No, he's fully justified his place in the starting lineup, hasn't he?
Referee slipped over that. Doan brings the ball forward, looks to go inside Blair, but Wilkes wins it back. Can he come forward with it now against Inman? Looking to use his pace, Wilkes. He's so strong as well, and that might be another yellow card for a foul on Wilkes. It's going to be. That's going to be 4 or 5, hasn't it? Fouls on Wilkes, yellow card. It's like a repeat.
Is that Doan?
Inman, I think.
Yeah, at times he's just been unplayable, hasn't he, Malik Wilkes, in this game, and he's been the best of a very good Rovers bunch, I would say.
Here's Crawford then in that Rovers midfield. Whiteman collects in the centre circle. He's got Butler to his left. Butler through for Rowe, and Butler again now. It's like a little bit of a slice ball forward, but Coppinger picks it up anyway. Brushed off it by McGahey, but he got his pass away to Whiteman, who looks to thread it left now for Andrew. There was an option of a ball forward. Instead, he cuts it back for Whiteman again. Crawford's in some space. Great reverse pass by Whiteman. Rowe just couldn't change his body shape to get on the end of it. Ball forward now by the Rochdale keeper Norman. Rovers win it back through Butler and Whiteman. Butler just comes right to Anderson now. Ball into midfield and Crawford, who collects and looks to get Rovers on the front foot already. Ball forward, that's a nice ball. Great ball, Crawford towards the edge of the area. Can he pick out a shot? Looks to dink it over the goalkeeper. It's just over the top of the crossbar. Brilliant effort from Crawford. Just waited and waited. The keeper a few yards off his line. And Crawford inches away from dinking it over him and into the back of that Rochdale net.
Yeah, and really clever play by Marquis there, sort of dummying that ball, letting it miss him out and go through to Crawford to get the chance.
Here's Marquis again then. Wilkes looking to chase onto that ball.
Oh dear.
Against Doan, I think. Rochdale will be glad to see the back of him after this game.
Not half.
Still one substitute remaining for Grant McCann then. Paul Taylor, Reeves Bucock, who we haven't even spoke about him. He came on Saturday, made his debut for the club. 18 years old, I think. It's not bad, is it?
Only got a couple of minutes, I think, didn't he? But
he was going to come on earlier, but then Gillingham scored, so Grant told him to sit down just so they could shore it up a little bit. But obviously, he probably thought his chance had gone, and then 2 minutes later, Grant says, "Come on." I'm not too sure if he got a touch in the game, but it doesn't matter to him, does it? He's on the pitch.
No, and it always makes you feel more comfortable the next time you come on. You know, you're always very nervous if it's your debut, even if you're only on the pitch a couple of minutes. At least you've had a taste.
Exactly, it's probably the best Christmas present he could have asked for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Late Christmas present.
Yeah, he deserves it with the goals he's been scoring at youth level and in reserves. Here's
Williams now in the centre circle for Rochdale. They've had quite a fair bit of the ball, haven't they, in this second half, without really testing the ball. Wilkes pulled back again there, and that's going to be another yellow card for a foul on Malik Wilkes.
No. That's Rathbone, isn't it?
Another yellow card for Rochdale. Here's Andrew now, ball into the midfield and Coppinger. Rowe gets on the end of it and finds Coppinger again, who just takes a touch inside. Brilliant ball to find Crawford. He's got Wilkes and Marquis making runs off him. Just waits and waits, Ali Crawford, before finding the pass to Marquis. Cuts inside now, similar to where he scored from against... It's in! When your luck's in, your luck is in. Mistake from the goalkeeper. I was just going to say, similar area to where he scored from against Bristol Rovers. Slightly different in the way it went in, but Rovers will take it.
Unbelievable.
Absolute howler from the goalkeeper there.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate really for Magnus Norman, because he's been probably the saviour for Rochdale partly in this game. Kept out one or two efforts, certainly one in the first half. Made a brilliant save, didn't he, from Marquis, fingertip save in the early on in the game. But that was a howler. Marquis tried his luck, and his luck was in. And as you say, when your luck's in, it is in. And 4-0 to Rovers, and 18 goals to John Marquis. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Rochdale about to make the third and final change. Camps comes off, replaced by Gillam. Matthew Gillam coming on. 15 minutes to go. Rovers 4-0 up. As a goal, you've got to feel sorry for the goalkeeper, haven't you, when something like that happens?
It was probably, I mean, you've got to give Marquis credit, because he probably unexpected that, the way he lashed at that, but probably wasn't expecting a shot like that.
I think he turned around in disbelief, didn't he, Marcus, after the goal?
I think he was quite happy about it, though.
Yeah, definitely. 18 goals now this season. Rowe gets the touch there against his former Peterborough teammate in Clay. Now Henderson. Coppinger wins it off Henderson. Finds Marquis now. Back to Coppinger again. He's got Crawford there with him. Henderson does well to win it back from James Coppinger. He's got bodies to his left. Inman's one of them. He collects inside the penalty area. Blair thought about diving in. Instead, he and Anderson just delay Inman a little bit. He goes left now to Doan, who's on the overlap.
Anderson's done well.
couple of sneezes there, apologies. Inman cuts inside, Crawford tries to win it back, but Inman will get a shot away. It's blocked by Butler. And here's a chance now to swing the ball into the box towards Andrew. It's a diving header by Butler to clear it away. Henderson chests it down for Doan again, just outside the penalty area, cuts it back for Williams, opens up for a shot. He tries to kill one from distance, and it goes well into that south stand to our right.
Yeah, and Rochdale have had 4 goals knocked past them for the second game in a row, and who's to say that
Wimbledon have equalised at Portsmouth at Fratton Park. Wow. Great point for them if they hold on to that. Scunthorpe still 2 up at Peterborough, doing Rovers a favour this afternoon. Rovers, as it stands, into the playoffs, just a point off Barnsley in 4th.
Are they still drawing with Luton?
Yes, 0-0 at Kenilworth Road. Rovers, we were talking about it in the car on the way home from Gillingham on Saturday. Rovers have got to go to Portsmouth, Luton and Sunderland in the second half of the season. You're looking at those, 9 points on offer there. If you pick up 6 or 7 from those games, you've done really well, haven't you? You probably take a point on the road at
away from home.
Yeah, each.
I think I'll be happy with 3 or 4, to be honest.
This Grant McCann side, though, they never know when they're beaten at times, do they? You've seen games this season where we've probably picked up points when we didn't deserve them, and then won games where you look at Luton at home. Luton, how they've gone on since we beat them.
Yeah, Luton are a good side. They're the best I've seen this season against us.
Rovers took 3 points off them, so.
Yeah.
To be fair, you look at the top 3, Sunderland, Luton and Portsmouth. Rovers have beaten Luton. Portsmouth was one of those games, as soon as Marco was sent off, it was a game changer, wasn't it? Sunderland at home, 2 chances on half time that we should have scored. As Blair brings it forward again, Rovers chasing a 5th. As we approach the final 10 minutes, it's off Delaney, and that time Norman's handling is up to scratch, shall we say.
I must say, Matty Blair's done well today, filling in that makeshift right back spot for him. He just won a header a few minutes ago and stopped a tricky situation for Rovers, and then he seemed darting down the right wing the next minute. It's good to have a player like that in the side.
And Clay floats one out wide to Doan then. Rochdale haven't given up, have they? It's a credit to them, really.
No, they haven't. The heads haven't gone down. They've not thrown the towel in. They're keeping trying, working hard. And as I say, they're a good, honest side, despite the scoreline.
Coppinger close to this left-hand touchline, didn't panic, didn't try to just lift it upfield, finds Whiteman, who in turn gives it to Marquis. Ronow with the ball upfield towards Wilts, got a little nudge from Doan there.
Yeah, that was a push.
Will bring it away and find Rathbone on the halfway line, chance to bring the ball forward, but look at the Rovers back line, it's set there. Anderson with a bit of defending to do. They didn't move out of their positions there. Anderson's come across, made a good tackle, but that's what you need, isn't it? You need those, even when you're 4-0 up, to still have those structures in place. Says a lot about the discipline as well in this Rovers team.
Well, he loves attacking football, does Grant McCann, but I think he'll be as pleased with the back 4 as anything today, as the 4 goals that they've scored, the way we've defended.
It's not going to be easy for Joe Wright to come back into this team, I don't think, is it?
No, it's not.
With Tom Anderson.
Not going to be easy for anybody to get in the team the way they played today.
Butler wanted Lawler to come for that. Instead, he's just going to try and shepherd it out for a goal kick anyway. Obstruction, Pete?
It's debatable, isn't it?
Great ball out.
Great ball by Lawler
to find Coppinger, who looks for the run of Marquis, chasing a hat-trick, of course. John Marquis. Wilkes is in the area if he can pick his head up and try and find him. He does lift drill it across rather than lift it across. Rowe might get a chance here. Can he get a shot at goal? It's all the way across, away by Doan, but he was pulled back there, Tommy Rowe, as well, wasn't he? Marquis collects onside, still chasing a hat-trick, thought about the shot, will go on his left foot, he's blocked by Rowe.
What did he?
And it might still stay in. A weird turn of events there.
What did he shoot for there when Rowe was in his way?
Stood next to him.
Yeah, he's keen to get the hat trick, I think, isn't he?
Oh, he loves scoring goals, John Marquis, doesn't he? Absolutely brilliant. 18 goals.
18 so far this season.
John, I think Grant said at the start of the season he can get 30, and I think a lot of people thought ambitious, but
well, that is very ambitious.
It is ambitious, but it's achievable for him now, isn't it? In all competitions. Still in the FA Cup.
And Rovers have no need to sell and no intention to sell, but you'd be very surprised if somebody didn't come in for him in the January window, wouldn't you?
I'm sure plenty of clubs would take him, but he's loving his football at the minute. Great ball out wide by him there to find Blair. Rowe and Marquis in the box for him to aim for. It's in towards Coppinger with a header, it's fine! Coppinger with a header, brilliant ball in by Blair, and it's that man James Coppinger. Appearance 602 for Rovers. Diving header into the far corner, and it's Rovers 5, Rochdale 0.
Yeah, and if you wanted icing on your cake this Christmas, that certainly provided it. What a goal! That was almost the best of the lot today. Great cross from the right, and Coppinger of all people just dived in bravely, because there were one or two defenders there and the boots were flying, but smack bang in the back of the net, 5-0.
What a header! What a ball from Blair as well. Great
ball.
Paul Taylor's about to come on for Rovers as well. He will shoot from anywhere, won't he? Shoot on sight policy now, I think, for Rovers. 5-0 up, and it will be Ali Crawford, who for me has had his best performance in a Rovers shirt this afternoon.
He deserves a break. If Malik Wilkes wasn't on the field, he'd be the man of the match, possibly Crawford today. He's had a stormer.
Look at that little embrace with his mate Danny Andrew there. Crawford off, Taylor on. It's 5-0 to Rovers. What a start to 2019. More of this, please, Pete.
What a nightmare for Rochdale.
Yeah. Taylor on then. Marcus just getting a few instructions from the Rovers manager. Rob McCann, who in line for his biggest league win as Rovers manager.
Yeah.
Only achieved that feat a couple of weeks ago at Bristol Rovers with a 4-0 win there. Rovers have beaten that already as it stands. Here's in Clay. Rovers pressing even now. 83 minutes gone. 5-0 up. Look at Marquis chasing down the goalkeeper, forcing the error. Throw into Rovers midway inside the Rochdale half.
Yeah, and if you want to start as you mean to go on in the new year, what a way to start.
Andrew will take this throw in then. Goes long towards Taylor, who gets his first touch, but it's not a good one. It's straight into the path of Rathbone, who can bring it forward on halfway and look to find Inman. Blair is tracking him towards the edge of the penalty area. 3 in the box with him. It's all the way across. Great defending by Butler. It's going to fall to Rathbone, who lays it off for Henderson. Fancies a shot from the edge of the area, and it loops just wide of Lawler's left-hand post.
And Lawler had it covered all the way. He did.
He did. You're right. I wasn't doubting you, Pete. Wasn't doubting you.
Now, I mean, if you were unbiased, you'd want Rochdale to get a goal for their efforts today, because as I say, it can't have been pleasant playing against this Rovers side, which is on a Rovers side which is absolutely on fire.
Here is Wilkes again up against Doan, going one way and then the other, keeps it in play. Got Taylor there with him, tries to knock it through the legs of the Rochdale defender, but in the end loses out. Wins it back though, and then loses it again. Yeah. Ball forward from Inman towards Andrew. It's well over his head and into the path of Andy Butler now, who just inside the Rovers half gives it to Anderson. Now Blair, who's crossed for that 5th goal, was sublime, wasn't it? Great ball in. Ball forward there from Whiteman. Again, Wilkes just rolls away from Doan as if he wasn't there. Marquis and Coppinger on the edge of the area. Taylor's there with him as well. Dangerous ball in from Wilkes, up into the air from Delaney. Headed clear now. Blair looks to make the most of it. Up into the air from Doan. 5 minutes of normal time remaining. 5-0 to Rovers. First game of 2019. 5 goals. It's not a bad start, is it, at all? Ball forward there from Rathbone towards the run of the substitute Gillam. Andrew goes back to Lawler, who has to do something with it in the end. I think Andrew will keep it in play. Just plays a 1-2 with the Rovers goalkeeper. And when you're in a confident mood like they are, that sort of thing just becomes the norm, doesn't it? Brilliant from Andrew, just calmness personified there as Taylor has it now on halfway, looks to turn away from Rathbone and bring it forward now. Paul Taylor does well, gallops into a couple of yards of space, tries to find Marquis there, and Williams can bring it away now for Rochdale. Under pressure from Coppinger, does well to get away from him and Rowe, and now left to Inman. Doan under pressure from Wilkes now. Rathbone turns away, Marquis there with him. Rathbone gets a pass away to McGahey. These Rochdale defenders have been run ragged, haven't they, this afternoon? Yeah,
you got to feel sorry for them in a way, because They've not done it. I mean, a lot of the goals that Rovers have scored today have just been worldies in a way. I mean, think of Ali Crawford's free kick. What can you do against something like that? And
pretty much everything Rovers have tried has come off.
They haven't really played all that badly, Rochdale, but they've just been overwhelmed by a side on song.
Dome with the ball in there, stooping header by Whiteman to clear, and now Wilkes can come away with it. Showing no signs of tiring, is he? Down at his back, turns to the side there. Wilkes, brilliant footwork. Coppinger's out on the left-hand side. He tried to play it through for Marquis.
He nearly put him through.
Not far off. And here's Down on the left-hand side. Rochdale looking to try and get a goal back in this game. Ball forward towards Andrew. Anderson's just going to shepherd it out of play for a Rovers goal kick. Simple, really, for the Rovers centre-back.
We don't want to be greedy, but the only thing that's missing today is Marquis completing his hat-trick and a goal for Malik Wilkes, who absolutely deserves a goal.
A couple more in, can't they?
Maybe. Well, yeah, there's 3 minutes left.
3 minutes.
Plus injury time.
I think Rochdale would happily just call it a day now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think they would.
Coppinger looks to play it back to Rowe, but puts him in a bit of trouble as Henderson can come away with it now. On the near side, the Rovers left. Henderson looks to find the Rathbone, who was in there. I thought he was Gillum at first. Coppinger, through the legs of Rathbone.
All the best.
38 this month, James Coppinger, and he just glides away from people. Marquis now cutting inside. He's got Taylor there with him. He picks him out, Paul Taylor. A bit of room for him to move into. He's only got one league goal. He likes a shot from distance. Just couldn't quite get it out of his feet there, and Williams can come away with it. On halfway now. Ball back towards Rathbone. Is almost picked up by Marquis. The ball back to Inclay in the end. Now McGahey. Ball wide now by Delaney to Doan on that left hand side for Rochdale. John Marquis just pulling his socks up in the centre circle. Here's Inman. Looks to go on the outside and Doan again. The ball just bounces away from Anderson and into the path of Inman again. Andrew Calvin, that is, on the edge of the area. Rathbone finds him. He collects with a decent touch, but then Whiteman nips in. Rathbone fires one from distance. Not a bad effort, but never troubling Lawler.
Yeah, and you mentioned Marquis pulling his socks up. It's something he doesn't need to do metaphorically, does he?
He's gone down, John Marquis.
He has. And we've used all our subs. But there ain't much time to go, so it wouldn't be too much of a bind if he had to come off at this stage.
No.
Today's match sponsor, DC Training, have selected their man of the match, and they have chosen.
Struggling a little bit, isn't he? Not too sure what's wrong with him. Doesn't look to be limping. Malik Wilkes given the sponsors man of the match.
Not the biggest surprise of the day, is it?
Certainly not. Marquis comes off the field temporarily. I think he's looking at his eyes. He's sort of pointing towards his eyes, isn't he? As if he's taking a bang on the head or something.
I think got him off the field, and Cam McCann was just pointing then get back on. But I don't think John Marquis needed telling that. He's eager to get back on and
Wilkes again.
Try and score again.
Had an absolutely brilliant performance this afternoon. He's fouled there by Gillum.
And how many times have you said that this afternoon? Malik Wilkes fouled.
Two minutes of added time. I think Rochdale will be pleased with that.
Yeah.
That's the loudest cheer of the Rochdale fans all afternoon, that. 2 minutes added on. As if to say, thank heavens.
Well, they've come over the Pennines today, haven't they, to watch this game, bless them, and they're going away with seeing their side beaten 5-0 after watching them lose 4-0 on Saturday.
Taylor with a free kick, not the best, into the air by Williams. Coppinger brings it down, but straight into the path of Inman now, into added time, and he looks to take it away from Blair. Blair's got the pace to stay with him, and he just tidying up back to Lawler, who just lifts it upfield. It's brought down by Delaney now in the centre circle. He's got bodies to his left. Rathbone takes over. Very different to Rovers' last home game of 2018, wasn't it? The 2-2 draw against Oxford. Henderson now towards the edge of the area. Attempt to ball into the box off Whiteman. I don't think we've got too much time left in this game. Andrew lets Doan take the throw in on the far side. Plays it back to his captain, Ian Henderson. Here's Williams now, back to McGahey. Referee has a look at his watch. And Clay on this near side. Taylor there with him, another former Peterborough teammate, of course. Here's Williams. Ball forward from Rathbone, finds Henderson, 25 yards out. Does he fancy a shot from distance? He goes wide now to Gillam, who looks to fire one all the way across, two hands from Lawler. It's going to fall for Williams, who fires one at goal, blocked by Whiteman, and then Taylor beaten in the air by Ian Clay. Marquis will collect, and that should just about be that. He got a nudge in the back from Doan, he just needs to clear his lines. There is the full-time whistle, the perfect performance from Rovers. 5 goals, a clean sheet on New Year's Day. The perfect start to 2019, Pete. Sum it up for us.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't ask for more than that, can you? And you could see the joy on the Rovers' faces as well at the end. Andy Butler and Malik Wilkes both putting both arms in the air when they heard the referee's final whistle, and they've every reason to be happy. Just run through the goals. Rovers couldn't have got off to a better start, could they? Alfie May scoring in the first minute after great work by Malik Wilkes, who went on to have a stormer of a game. Alec Crawford, 23rd minute free kick. John Marquis wading with a goal after being denied by a brilliant save by the Rochdale keeper earlier on. Marquis, of course, scored again in the 75th minute, and James Coppinger rounded it all off with that 83rd minute diving header. But overall, what a performance by Doncaster. 2019, and it was a performance that said playoffs or promotion, here we come, because that was a terrific performance by Rovers. Rochdale aren't a bad team. Don't anybody run away with the idea that Rochdale are a team that a poor team and a team that gives up easily. This is a side that will always run the socks off, and they did do this afternoon. They just came up against a steamroller of a Doncaster side who were just ready to almost beat anybody today.
Look at that, Rovers as a team going over to the supporters, not just one or two or in different patches. Grant McCann's led his team over there.
It'd be easy to say it's the best performance this season, but there were periods in this game where they've really, really played well, and and you can't